This is the VOA Special English Development Report. The name sounds funny, but the idea is no joke. A personal toilet called the pee-poo. Anders Wilhelmsson is the Swedish inventor of the idea. He wants to give poor people in developing countries a simple way to improve their lives. The toilet is a single-use bag made of environmentally friendly plastics. The inside is treated with urea, a chemical commonly used as fertilizer. A natural reaction kills harmful organisms in the waste. It reduces the waste to fertilizer that Anders Wilhelmsson says is safe for growing food. The hotter the weather, the more quickly the waste breaks down into ammonia to be taken up by plants. Anders Wilhelmsson says the sanitation process can take as little as a couple of hours or as long as 2 to 4 weeks. He is an architect and a professor at Sweden's Royal Institute of Technology. He became interested in the idea of sanitation after taking part in a research project on the social and political development of cities. One of the most common complaints he heard in developing countries was the lack of toilets. He worked with others to design the invention. He launched the project in 2005 and the next year started a company called Pee-Poople. The company is beginning production in Nairobi. It expects to start selling the bags in August in Kenya and Bangladesh. Full production could reach about 500,000 bags a day. Pee-Poople plans to sell the bags for 2 to 3 cents each. Anders Wilhelmsson says people can get back 10 times what they paid by using the resulting fertilizer to grow vegetable gardens. The United Nations says more than 2.5 billion people around the world do not have good sanitation. Many have no choice but to use the outdoors. Poor sanitation leads to infectious diseases that kill more than 1.5 million people a year, mostly young children. Jack Sim is the founder of the World Toilet Organization, a nonprofit group working to improve conditions. He says the sanitation marketplace and inventions like this one are the best way to help people meet a most basic need. And that's the VOA Special English Development Report. You can find transcripts and MP3s of our programs at voaspecialenglish.com. You can also add your comments.
This is the VOA Special English Technology Report. Students from Arizona State University won top honors this spring at the Imagine Cup Finals in the United States. Microsoft Corporation organizes the competition every year. The Imagine Cup asks students to use their imaginations and their love of technology to solve some of the world's biggest problems. More than 100,000 students in the United States alone registered for the event this year. 22 teams were chosen to take part in the finals in Seattle, Washington. Team Flash Food won first place in the Imagine Cup's software design competition. The team developed a computer software application and website to help speed food donations from restaurants, hotels, and farmers markets to needy families. Eric Lenhart is the leader of Team Flash Food. He says food insecurity affects a lot of people, especially in large population centers. He notes that some people do not know where their next meal is coming from. His team's winning mobile application and website is designed for operators of restaurants. They can enter information about the food they would like to donate. Then, volunteer drivers go to pick up the donations and take them to those in need. Richard Filley is director of the Engineering Projects in Community Service program at Arizona State. Team Flash Food is one of the program's 37 projects. Richard Filley says winning the Imagine Cup's software design category is a major honor. But, he says, it is not what energizes his students. He says they want to change the world and make a difference. Microsoft is celebrating the 10th year of the Imagine Cup. Mark Hinsbo is a vice president with the company. He says the competition has changed a lot since it first began. Years ago, it mainly involved computer science, and almost all of the students had a computer science education. Mark Hinsbo says the students who compete now have different areas of expertise. For example, Team Flash Food had a student who studied biomedical engineering. Another student studied marketing and sustainability. Yet another studied material science and engineering. For VOA Special English, I'm Alex Villarreal. You can find more stories about the Imagine Cup at voaspecialenglish.com.
This is the VOA Special English Technology Report. You could fill the sky with all the ideas people have had for flying cars. But at this point, the transition is the closest to actually getting to the marketplace. So says Carl Dietrich, head of Terrafugia. His company in Massachusetts is developing the transition roadable aircraft. Mr. Dietrich says the transition is designed to really be a general aviation airplane, like a Cessna or a Piper, a propeller-powered airplane that can fold up its wings, drive down the road, and park in a single-car garage. And he says the transition easily changes to a car in about 20 seconds. The driver folds up the wings and transfers power from a propeller to the wheels for driving on the ground. Development began in 2006, and the first road and flight tests took place in 2009. The transition had to meet federal safety standards for cars and aircraft. Last year, the Federal Aviation Administration agreed to let it weigh more than other light sport aircraft. But even fully loaded, says Mr. Dietrich, it still weighs about half as much as an average car. The windows, for example, weigh less than traditional automotive safety glass. Terrafugia got permission for that in June from the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration. Carl Dietrich says the aircraft can climb to more than 3,000 meters. It can carry 2 people at speeds over 160 kilometers an hour in the air. And on the ground, it can drive at highway speeds, around 113 kilometers an hour. The plane needs an airport for takeoffs and landings, and pilot training for the driver. But it uses automotive gasoline. The company expects to complete the building process for its flying cars within the next few months. Then it will begin an intensive year-long testing program. Terrafugia expects the transition to reach market by the end of 2012 at a price of around $250,000. Carl Dietrich says nearly 100 people have already signed up as buyers. He hopes to sell as many as 1,000 a year in the near future. He says that will not have any appreciable or noticeable impact on the air traffic control infrastructure in the foreseeable future today. Now, 20 years down the road, who knows? For VOA Special English, I'm Carolyn Presutti. For more technology stories and activities for people learning English, go to voaspecialenglish.com. I'm Carolyn Presutti with the VOA Special English Technology Report. A new survey finds that more than 80% of Internet users in the United States search for health information online. The survey is from the Pew Research Center's Internet and American Life Project and the California Healthcare Foundation. Susanna Fox from the Pew Internet Project says doctors are still the main source of health information. But the survey found that searching online is one of the leading ways that people look for a second opinion. She said people are fact-checking what they have heard from a doctor. However, people are still very likely to turn to a health professional when they are planning a treatment. 44% of people are actually looking for doctors or other providers when they search for health information online. Another finding of the survey, 2/3 of Internet users look online for information about a specific disease or medical condition. The Internet has also become an important source of emotional support for people with health problems. Susanna Fox says 1 in 5 Internet users has gone online to find other people who have the same condition. She said even more people with serious or rare diseases go online to find other people who share their health concerns. A disease is considered rare if it affects fewer than 200,000 people worldwide. The rise of social networking has made it easier for people with rare diseases to connect with each other and feel less alone. Social networking is also changing the way some doctors and patients communicate with each other. Dr. Jeff Livingston operates a medical center for women in Irving, Texas. His office uses password-protected software to share information with patients. He says they provide patients full access to their medical care. Dr. Livingston says the software has increased efficiency, reduced costs, and improved relations with patients. He says it has just revolutionized the way we do healthcare. His medical center also has a Facebook page, a MySpace page, and a Twitter feed. For VOA Special English, I'm Carolyn Presutti. We would like to hear your stories about going online to search for health information. There's a lot of information out there. How do you know if you can trust what you find? You can also post your comments on our website, voaspecialenglish.com.